And welcome to this, the latest episode in our video diary series chronicling my journey through DDP Yoga and physical fitness and just generally what's going on in my life. This week we continued with the bespoke DDP mixtape that I put together and I showed on the last video. Check that out if you want to see what's going on with the exercises within that. It's the second week of doing that now, and again it completely kicked my arse. The exercises were easier than the first week, which was to be expected. Obviously you get into a rhythm of doing these things. Still alternating it, session A, session B on a day-by-day basis. Session B yesterday, Friday, so it was session A on Monday, and hopefully we will see some vast improvements between now and the end of the summer. Again, as has been mentioned on many videos previously, the scales still aren't working. The hardware store that does the batteries for it are still closed. However, in the UK, the lockdown is being eased from tomorrow, with non-essential stores being allowed to reopen from the 15th of June, which means hopefully I'll be able to sort it then and have something for at least by the end of the month to find out where we are, because it's been an interesting period, because obviously we were doing it week by week with regards to weight. And then for since the curfew, since the lockdown, it's been uncharted. So it'll be interesting to see where we're at. Exercise wise though, we got through it. It was tough, but we did it, and I feel good. Feeling less stiff. I had a little period there where I don't know if it was because of how I was sleeping or some other factors, but it was starting to get a little painful. Especially my right hip was having some serious trouble about a week ago, which was causing me a lot of problems. That seems to have gone now, but my hips are always going to bother me, as has been documented. But yeah, so we're going into the third week of the bespoke schedule. This is where we're going to have a look at it after the fourth week. May run it to the end of June, do a 6-week thing because I'm enjoying it, but we'll see. Away from the exercise, Josh has been here all week because the schools were on half term and he was going to be here all week anyway. It also gives his mum a bit of a break because obviously he's stuck in the house the whole time. We've been watching the Die Hard movies. We watched Die Hard 1 and 2, so we've watched 3 and 4 this week as well. And we'll be watching Die Hard 5 with lunch today. He's enjoyed them all. He preferred the fourth one over the first 3. But again, you have to take in mind he's 13 years old and he doesn't have the burden of nostalgia that we have looking back on them. So he's just taking them at face value and he's enjoying them. So we're going to do the 5th one. Then we're going to do Phone Booth. Then we're going to jump onto the RoboCop movies, so we'll get them done. But I'm not really looking forward to RoboCop 3 because I really didn't like that movie whatsoever. As for me, I gave Just Cause 4 another go. I'm into it a bit now. I've worked out more of the mechanics because when I was first playing it I wasn't getting into it. There was no indication of where to go and what to do. It was just a little more map. Wasn't even any markers to say, oh, go there, you can do this thing, go here, you can do that thing, really. But then I worked out how to navigate the menus and everything else. So I am actually going through specific missions now. So I'm enjoying it a bit more now, so I'm still going to give it another chance, we'll see how we go. What I am excited about is, I've heard, not confirmed yet, but I've seen multiple sources state when the PlayStation Plus games for June go live on Wednesday, that Days Gone will be reduced to £15 or $15.99. That I'm excited about because I'm really want to play Days Gone, but I'm not going to buy it just now simply because it's going to come down in price in a couple of days. I was going to skip the video this week. I didn't feel like it was appropriate or the time to do a normal video. But by the same token, you can't let the oppressors force you down. They want you to be silent. They want you to be doing nothing but what they want you to do. And if I didn't do the beginning of this video in my heart, it felt like the oppressors would have won. And I'm not going to pretend that I'm oppressed. I'm not. I'm a white guy living in the UK. This affects me in the sense of it pains me to see what's going on and that I can't really do anything about it. As a white guy, I have no idea what it feels like to be a black person, especially a black person in America at the moment, where just being black is reason enough to kill you. Everything that's going on at the moment is because, well, it's been simmering for a while. There's been so many instances, but the actual current situation specifically is because the cop killed George Floyd. George Floyd was a black man, unarmed and cooperating with the police. He was dragged to the ground, handcuffed. An officer knelt on his neck for 9 minutes. Other officers knelt on his back. And a fourth officer just stood around and watched. And this officer knelt on George Floyd's neck while George Floyd was basically begging for his life. He's crying for his mum. He was telling the officers he couldn't breathe. And he said this over a dozen times that he couldn't breathe. And this officer didn't care. And that is systematic intentional murder. This cop intentionally murdered a black man in broad daylight, in full view of witnesses, in full view of cameras, and he didn't care. And the reason he didn't care is because at the moment in the White House there's a president who is a racist, sexist, misogynist, and he has galvanized the closet racists, the closet sexists, the closet misogynists to come out of the shadows and to make us face their ugliness head on. If the president can do and say these things, then why can't we? Is essentially what their mindset is. And I can understand that mindset. If the most powerful person in the country is like me, then why can't I be like me? That's what they're thinking. And it's fucking disgusting. It truly is fucking disgusting. And to have this man, George Floyd, lay on the ground and have a cop stand over him while the cop's colleagues systematically and intentionally murder him on camera without a care in the world is fucking disgraceful. It was the catalyst for everything that's going on right now. As I said, it's been simmering for a long time. There are so many instances of cops overstepping their bounds. They swore an oath to protect and serve. They're protecting no one. They're serving only themselves. And this is a wake-up call. This has been building, and it's been building, and it's been building, and it continues on now. Trump was talking about MAGA, Make America Great Again, and MAGA is also the description of the people who support him. And he said on a press conference to the press that MAGA loves African Americans. MAGA loves black people. So even there, Trump is saying that his Make America Great Again does not include blacks. He's basically saying that Make America Great Again is separate from the black community. He couldn't be more blatant in what he's saying. His rhetoric is the reason so much shit is going on in the world right now. And he is either completely oblivious to it or genuinely doesn't care. He was talking about getting the National Guard to come in and shoot looters. This is the President of the United States. He's supposed to be a statesman, a beacon of hope for the entire country, a leader. He is nothing like that. He is a con man, he is a failed businessman, he is a racist, and he needs to be removed. And hopefully, my brothers and sisters in America, my friends over there, will vote him out at the end of this year. George Floyd isn't the only victim in this. Facebook, Twitter, social media, Instagram has been flooded with images of the cops overstepping their bounds, thinking they're above the law. They're shooting at the press. They're shooting at the media. The press is there to cover these events. That's what the press do. And the cops are intentionally shooting at them. A black reporter was arrested while giving his report for CNN in full view of the cameras. A white reporter from CNN was left alone. There was footage of people being shot while in the porch of their own home. Yeah, they're not live rounds. I believe they're either rubber bullets or they're essentially paintball pellets. But people were on their porch at their home and were being shot at by, it was either the police or it was the National Guard, but it was a group who were supposed to be there to impose law and order, to maintain peace, to stop any violent acts, and to protect people. And a family was on their porch filming it, and they shot at them. There is no justification for that whatsoever. Absolutely none. There was a nurse who was treating someone who had been shot with a rubber bullet. And yeah, they're less deadly than a live round, but they still cause injury. And this nurse was saying that while she was treating this guy, they opened fire on the nurses and the doctors. What the fuck is going on? In war, the Red Cross was a designation for medical personnel, and it was designed to make them immune from fire. Obviously they can be shot, but you did not shoot medical personnel. That was a rule of war. And here we have people helping others being shot at by an institution that's supposed to protect them. And that isn't happening. Kids are being shot. There was a video. I genuinely broke down in tears. He was roughly the same age, or he appeared to be roughly the same age as Josh. And he had been hit in the head. And this white guy who was there protesting as well was carting him off, carrying him over, and there was blood all down this white guy's arm from where this kid was bleeding from his head. And that broke me. And I cried. Full on tears down the face, cried at the prospect of how scared this kid must feel that the police are shooting at him simply because he's black and he was in a place, a public place. That is fucking disgraceful. It is abhorrent. It is essentially a military state, military police state. That is what is being instigated at this point in time. An elderly man with a cane is shoved to the ground by the police. A young girl filming the police marching is violently shoved to the ground. And then you get all these fucking arseholes coming on and saying that she was attacking the police. No, she wasn't. She physically did not touch anyone. She was filming. She was asked to get out of the way. She asked why. Then this cop smashed her phone out of her hand and threw her, violently shoved her pie-faced up to the ground with excessive force and then walked off like a tough guy. I've found that by posting and retweeting and tweeting things with the Black Lives Matter hashtag and these types of things, certain people are unfollowing me. And good riddance. I don't want you following me. If you feel that this content is wrong, and not for the reasons why the actions of the police are wrong, but you feel that supporting the black community is wrong, even though I'm not black myself, that's pretty obvious. It doesn't mean I can't lend my voice and I can't support the black community. Even if it's in another country, I can still support that community with the tools that I have. And that's what I'm doing. And the fact that people are unfollowing me because of it says more about them than it'll ever say about me. And good riddance to them. The people who are defending the police for overstepping their mark are also part of the problem. Videos surfacing showing white people doing the vandalism, white people doing the smashing of the buildings. It's a cause for concern. Trump looks up to Russia, Trump looks up to North Korea and the leaders of those countries. He sees that for himself. He sees himself as the leader of a dictatorship. And this is the first part of it. He is instigating a police state. He is the catalyst for the majority of the swelling of racism. And racism's always been there, but this is overt racism and sexism and misogyny. It falls at his doorstep. And that cunt doesn't care. He only cares about himself. Twitter flagged up one of his tweets because the content in it may not have been factually accurate. They fact checked him. And suddenly Trump is doing an executive order because of that. That executive order is nothing to do with the policies that a private company, Twitter, has in place for fact checking. Because they've had that for years. That executive order is because they fact checked him. That's all that is. They fact checked him, so now he has thrown a fit. He's gone on a huff like a petulant child like he always does. Don't be fooled by him. The amount of people who have come out of the woodwork to be racist, sexist, misogynist, sometimes all three at once, is fucking disgusting. It's disheartening. It's heartbreaking. And I feel genuine fear for where this is going to lead. Do not let George Floyd's death be in vain at this point. Continue your protests. Take to the streets. Be loud, be proud, be non-violent. Speak your mind. Do not let the police oppress you. Do not let the police abuse you. Black Lives Matter does not mean that no other lives matter. The hashtag is not only Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter at this point in time is the appropriate phrase because the state and the police act as if black lives don't matter. Understand what is going on. Open your eyes, open your ears. Read as much as you can, watch as much as you can, listen to as much as you can. Do not stay in your bubble. Hopefully next week, when I'm doing the video, there will be better things to discuss. There will be brighter things to discuss. Hopefully, the cops who killed George Floyd will have been prosecuted. Hopefully, they will not get away with it. Hopefully, all the other police brutality, the people perpetrating them, do not get away with it. I hope no one else is killed. I pray for you all. Please be safe. Please be proud. Please be vocal. Please be vigilant. please be yourselves. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me ramble. I'll see you again next week. Goodbye.